He just dropped.
He seems to be running the new Hangouts instead of the old version.
Yeah. I don't understand why it would, though, if he goes off the link I sent him.
Yeah, I don't either.
Yeah, this whole switch to YouTube thing has been weird.
Yeah. Okay, I think I'm going to make a last-minute bio break before we make the stream live and we get Jackson back.
That's probably a good idea. Maybe I'll get some coffee.
Coffee and headphone detangle, I think.
This is ludicrous.
Still nothing?
What a thing. I've seen apps. I remember you saying something about apps, so I clicked on it, but then it drove me away.
Oh, you clicked on add apps?
Yeah, there's a little thing in the top left that says show apps.
Oh. Yeah, try click on that again. Is it still not working?
Yeah, that's what I did. That's what I did, and then it kicked me out of the Hangouts because then it reloaded into the same screen and it said stuff like Gmail, YouTube, Google Drive, Google Sheets.
What the heck?
I know.
Weird. I don't know what the problem is then. I mean, like, I ran into a weird problem with Carol, and now we're running into a weird problem with yours. I guess I've just been blessed by the D&D gods because I've never had a problem with this.
Possible.
They're smiling on me. I appreciate it. Thanks, Corellian.
Still nothing?
No. Looks like I may have no overlay.
I wish I was better at giving tech support.
Same.
So just some quick things. When we go live, if you're not actually actively talking, if folks could just remember to mute their mic, that would be great. And I guess we'll just, if you want to, I don't know, the best way I think for me to, I think if you want to be like next in queue, just like maybe unmute your mic to let the player that's kind of talking at the time know that you're next up. You know, we'll figure it out. Any last questions from folks? Just I know Tyler forgot to give himself some healing pots, so I don't know if anybody else wanted to throw some of the lesser healing pots.
No, I chose different items, didn't I? But I haven't written them down. God damn it! I need to go do that.
Yeah.
It was in the email, wasn't it? I sent them to you. Calm, stop rushing.
And just another thing too. So one of the things that like in the session 0 we talked about. So when you guys are doing a skill check or something, I'll put in the chat what the DC is. So make your roll, and if you succeed or fail, feel free to describe how your success or failure, how your character reacts to it. All right, it's 4 o'clock. If there's not any last questions, I'm going to kick this baby off. So if everyone could mute their mics. Perfect. All right, let's go, guys. Hello and welcome to BrigadeCon 2016. I'm Lionel. I'm half of Two Guys T and D&D, and I got some great players here, and we're going to do a nice little one-shot. But before we do that, I just want to make sure, I just want to talk a little bit, do some housekeeping stuff. So BrigadeCon is a 24-hour tabletop role-playing event with panels, great games, and it's all to raise money for the charity Child's Play, which I'm going to link below in the game and on the channel. And so please, if you haven't yet, please follow the link, read about the charity. It's a really good cause. Throw them some money. Buy a BrigadeCon shirt. Proceeds from buying these shirts go to the charity as well. So give it a hoot. And so I'm just, without any further ado, I think we'll just quickly have my players introduce themselves and just let them, don't really describe your character, just tell us who you're playing and plug any channel that you'd like. So we'll start from my left to right. So Becky.
Hi there, I'm Becky Rose Dungeon Girl. Today I should be playing Beardtrice, who's a retired Huskar. And I'm going to be in for 12 hours of 24 of BrigadeCon, and so hopefully by some point during the day I'll brush my hair. I have just got up.
We love you anyways. Don't worry about it. Carol, you're next.
Hi, I'm Carol. I'm playing Obsidian. She's going to be our cleric this time, and I don't have a channel or anything. I just playing.
Right on. Tyler.
Hey everyone, I am Tyler. I'm from the channel On a Roll. I'll be playing Gulbrandr Hakon, and he's just a ranger, and I'm excited to play. It's going to be fun.
Cool. And last but not least, Action Jackson. Let's hear it.
I am L.A. Jackson. I am the creator and founder of the Mapronomicon. I am going to be playing, I have no overlay, so you'll just have to remember, Torgga Strongarm, Aryan Dwarf. Quite happy to play her as well.
Oh, perfect, perfect. And without further ado, we're going to get started. A canvas of white covers the middle mountains, only peppered with hues of evergreens, their many branches bent, heavy with snow. Desolate, icy silence, broken only by the low moan of wind as it whips sheets of snow carelessly about. Always the cold, the unforgiving cold, biting and gnawing at the flesh of the living like some ravenous beast. Few would travel these heights, yet fewer still would survive. The pale yellow sun low in the horizon does little to warm those below. The quiet of the wilds now upset by the sounds of labored breath and crunching snow. 4 brave adventurers risked the wilds of the middle mountains, each with their own purpose, but one sole goal, that is to slay the White Wyrm Sa'Keeth that has been ravaging the north. Please, what is going through each of your minds as you're making your way up through these snow-covered mountain range to this peak, this distant mountain where this dragon lairs?
Oh, my sciatica. Oh. No, I'm good. Hey guys. You're all muted, by the way.
Gulbrandr kind of just shakes his head as he's leading this group, feet very light on the snow, as the 3 behind him just crunch noise, like just so much noise. He just is kind of just shaking his head, just dwarves, 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 as he's shaking his head, looking over his shoulder and holding this heavy crossbow loosely in one hand, just thinking to himself, anything could hear these dwarves for a mile around. How did I get stuck with these?
Well, Obsidian's following along behind, but she's glad of her nice warm winter clothing because she's used to the cold, but she likes the warm clothing. And she's all kind of wrapped up, but she's got her mountain pick in one hand to help her walk, and her Warhammer Betsy's always handy, strapped to her back. She and Betsy have seen many a mountain mile together already.
Torgga is definitely all that quiet. She's got her huge battle axe with the one end stuck into the snow. You can see her removing snow from her eyebrows, peering out the distance, trying to mark out some location so that she can tell where she is and, maybe like what elevation we may have to go or how we have to turn around this mountain, and keeping a very close eye on Obsidian. Wherever she is, just sort of like looking behind her and making sure that she's following in her path. And Torgga is probably, making enough room, still being sure-footed, moving the snow side to side, and moving towards whatever goal, whatever destination we had decided, or find a spot so that I could peer out and take a look further ahead.
Yes. So, which of you four is leading this this hardy band? Who's the head of this group?
I'm thinking that Gulbrandr would. He knows these mountains like the back of his hand. He's traveled through the snow and he's hunted wyverns, griffins before, creatures of the air and of the mountains. He knows these lands and the things that they hide. And I think he would be leading, keeping an eye on the snow, watching for tracks, checking the air, and all the while just thinking to himself what would be the next course of action if something were to attack us.
Perfect. So as you lead Brand, the three dwarfs behind you, making actually good time for their smaller stature. I would like the everyone but Beardtrice to please give me a perception roll.
Well, Obsidian is going to just continue along looking at her great, who knows how many great aunts Torgga, wondering why she worries about her so much.
Yeah. So Brand, as you're leading at the front of this group, off to the corner of your eye, you see movement moving through the snow-covered evergreens, just out of sight. And as you turn to look, it disappears. You have this uneasiness that sets about you, like something's watching you, moving along and shadowing your group.
Oh, I'm sure my ankle didn't used to hurt like this last time I did a long march. Ah! Oh.
I stop looking back at Beardtrice as she's kind of talking to herself, and I hold up a hand and put a finger in front of my mouth. And then with just moving my eyes slightly, I look over towards the trees, hoping that she sees it.
I stop and stand still in the snow, so I'm only making some sounds from my armor.
And under my breath, just enough that they can hear me, I say, "Act normal." And then I turn and keep walking up the trail, as if nothing has happened.
Normal, I tell you. Who's a human to tell me to act normal in the mountains? Ah, going ahead of me, he says, scouting, looking around. I tell ya, sort of muttering to herself and throwing back a couple of curses over her shoulders. She's just soldiering on, battle axe occasionally kicking snow or rocks or debris out of her way.
I agree. I don't think anyone who's under 100 would even know what normal is.
I'm just shaking my head as I look back at this Torgga, who's using her battle axe almost like an oar on a boat. It looks like just kind of like shoveling through this sea of white. I'm just shaking my head as she leaves such a distinct trail for anything to follow us.
Yeah, that you do have those pangs of anxiousness, Brand, as you do see the trail left from your passage. You guys press on. The minutes become, the seconds become minutes. The minutes stretch on to an hour. You see no more movement as you still scan the trees to either side of you. You hear nothing. You break for a quick cold meal before setting back out again. You spent the better part of almost a week in these mountains searching for this lair of this worm. You're confident now, Brand, using your knowledge that you know the peak from which this dragon nests, and you can see it off in the distance. It's almost made invisible by this great cloud of snow and ice that seems to billow around it. You expect that it'll be several days more before you actually reach this peak. As you get again set back out, I'd like everyone to make a perception check. Yeah, so it's you alone, Brand, who again catch movement on either side of your party as you move through these trees. Your brow further furrows as you look up to the sky and you see clouds starting to roll in. You know that snow will fall soon. There's still several hours of daylight before the night will take, and then the cold. And you will have to seek shelter. What is it your party would like to do?
I'm just kind of nodding to myself happily, knowing that this snow, this storm that's coming will cover our tracks and will give us cover. Gulbrandr turns and looks at the rest of the group. Do we press on through the blizzard, or do we find a place to camp?
Frostbite doesn't bother me. I can carry on. Can you, human?
Kind of just grunt at her as this snow kind of comes up to her waist, and just shake my head smiling and says, if you can walk against the drifts, then I will show you respect, dwarf. And I look at the other two.
I'm fine to go on. It doesn't bother me. I've spent many a day out in the mountains. Maybe down south of here, but I was raised in the mountains.
Surely there's a spot maybe we could hunker down and have a drink. Oh, I guess we all kind of want to move on. Fine. I'm good with that. Snow never bothered me. Slough right off my back.
Kind of just nod to the rest of the group as they're all agreeing that we should move on, that we should keep going, get a better time. And I reach into my pack and I pull out a set of rope. And I say, the wind can carry you far if you were to lose your footing. And I start tying it around my waist, and I offer the end to each of them to tie it around their waist as well, so you don't get lost with the snow blindness.
I start laughing at Gulbrandr. We're mountain dwarves.
Maybe he needs a little help.
Oh, bless.
I slowly just shake my head, looking at the three of them. Very well. And I pull down these goggles from the top of my head, thin slits in them to keep the snow out of my eyes, and say, I will not be responsible for your deaths, though, and turn and continue up the snow.
Just make sure you stay within eyeshot. I grab part of my beard and my mustache and sort of, and my eyebrows and sort of start working the hair, knotting it a bit so that it creates this mask. And I trudge on forward.
Yeah, you are not strangers to the mountains either. So, so who have you tied together, Brand, or who has? Is it solely you?
No one seems to have accepted it, so I put it away.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, and just as you expected, within the hour, a light snow starts to fall, and within the quarter hour, the light snow turns to a heavy snow. A small wind picks up, and it blows bitter across and through the trees, and you feel the temperature beginning to drop. Everyone can make a perception check. Brand, you will have advantage on this. Same DC, guys. Oh, come on. This better not be how the rolls are going to go. All right, perfect. Yeah, so this time it's Beardtrice coming up, bringing up the rear, the grizzled veteran. You catch off to your right, Beardtrice, movement through the corner of your eye, and you turn, and it looks as if almost like a drift of snow shifts and disappears behind one of the far trees, and then disappears from your sight.
I freeze on the spot. Nervously, I draw my longsword.
Yeah, there's a rasp of steel on leather as you pull your sword free. You can see as the snow is falling more heavily now and the wind is picked up a bit, you see your three companions still moving forward, pulling away from you, not aware that you have stopped.
I realize as they're walking away that I appear to be the only one here who has any common sense to face the danger. It is not us who are hunting the drake, I fear. This mountain has given me the creeps. Yeah, a human shows no fear. I can do this. Hang on, guys. And I trudge forward, but I still got my longsword out. Nervously hold it.
I believe cats are related to dragons.
Distant relatives, but yeah, still the same.
Descendants. Yeah, so you quickly catch up, and does Beardtrice take any? Does she give any warning to her fellow dwarves and the haughty ranger?
No. You see, with the cataracts and stuff, I don't trust my eyes as much as I trust theirs. So I don't want them to think that I'm seeing things because I'm getting on, and if I start calling out and I'm going to look nervous and fearful, I don't want them to see that in me. No, I will say nothing.
So there's several tense minutes for you, Beardtrice, as maybe you scan to either side as you follow behind the rest of the members, and give me another perception check. Again, you'll have advantage on this one. You're almost certain of it now as you're scanning to either side of you. Yeah, you don't believe that it's snow moving, but something else, some beast. You're not quite certain. It seems to be just beyond your the clearness in your cataracts have limited your vision, but you're certain that something is moving out there and beyond yourselves.
I'm going to grab obsidian. But perhaps we should break for some meat. Yes, some meat, and just a short break. Perhaps over by that drift, and I point to where I last saw the movement.
Sure, I think that's probably a good idea. Do you guys all want to stop?
Aye, mead? What's
I'm
that?
ready for a little break.
Lovely. Warm up.
Gulbrandr looks over his shoulder, chuckling, as he was not the one to first call the break, just kind of laughing at just how things are turning out. He thinks that she's getting tired, and he kind of just shakes his head. Says, "Very well. Break can't be that bad, now can it?" But he's still on high alert, just checking the skies, checking the ground, looking for tracks. He knows it's near impossible with the snow, but he's still checking.
And even though it's not the best place, I start trekking towards the drift where I saw the movement, having chosen that as the spot to rest. I guess I'm thinking to myself, I know if there's anyone here who's as experienced in these mountains as me, we would probably rest up there, but I need to take them toward this. I need to be sure what I'm seeing is right. Everything just looks so milky white, and that's without the snow. Oh, my toes hurt.
Oh, I didn't hear you, Jackson.
Sorry. Can you hear me now? Is that good?
Yeah, you're good.
Torgga has these sort of, I figured because of her size and because of the amount of hair that she possesses and the leather bracers with claw bangles, like bear claw bangles and the bear claw necklace and so on, that backpacks at her size wouldn't be as practical. So I figured she would have these sort of bandolins, and she would sort of roll out this flask, not a flask, sorry, but like a water skin, and as following behind Beardtrice, sort of just sloshing through the snow and taking a sip. Now, I'm not stupid. I have an 8 intelligence, but I don't believe my character would be that dumb. So she is sort of keeping an eye out and noticing that the human is acting weird, and that, she is something, maybe like she's taking us somewhere, so I'm just, mead pouring down or wine pouring down off my beard, and I'm sort of like taking a look around and, eager to sit down.
Yeah. Anyone other than Beardtrice could definitely make an insight roll if they would like.
Obsidian's definitely paying attention, but she's a little distracted by the antics, I guess, of the other members of the group. Can't quite figure out what they're doing, and is kind of watching them instead of the scenery like she probably should be.
Right. So with the exception of Obsidian, the other two of you look to the snowdrift that Beardtrice has pointed out, and being having spent time in the mountains yourselves, it doesn't appear like this would be a wise place to kind of hunker down. That it would afford you very little shelter from the cutting wind and the falling snow. But you see that Beardtrice is pressing forward, and she's almost to this drift that she had pointed out.
What do I know about the creatures of this mountain?
What would you like to know? Do you have a more specific question?
So, I guess specifically what I want to know is what has the intelligence to track us that might live on this mountain?
Oh, yeah. So there would be several wild beasts that would do that. Mountain cats, bears. You've even heard rumor. You've not seen one, but you've heard rumor of these great like snow apes that have been reportedly seen. That they seem to have the skill of almost human cunning and skill in tracking and hunting their prey. And then, of course, there's the others, the giants, the trolls, snow trolls, and certain bands of orcs.
I think glancing at this mound and realizing how poor of a spot it is, I start like calling out to Beardtrice. No, that spot's not suitable for what we need. We need to move up there. And I kind of start pointing further up the ridge.
Yeah, so you point to a kind of this outcropping of rocks with like a semicircle of evergreens that would afford much more protect you much more from the exposure.
Is your cold constitution failing you? This has a much nicer view.
Kind of just like look at her thinking, you're talking about how you're so wise about this mountain and you know how this mountain works and how important it is to get cover in these storms. And I kind of just like look at her, like give her this quizzical look. Like, are you really telling me that you think the view can be seen through all this snow and all this wind?
We're only taking a few minutes break for a bit of hearty mead to warm up the soul, It's not like we're making camp.
Yeah, so Beardtrice, you're just several feet now from this snowdrift. Give me a perception check. I'll put the DC in the chat.
Utterly distracted by my human friend here. I'm paying no attention to where I'm walking. I've forgotten, it seems, about the movement I saw earlier.
Yeah, so you push off into this drift, and you just see it's like a small little circle of trees. The wind has pushed the snow up across three of them, creating almost this bank of snow that's probably maybe a head higher than the three of you. But other than that, you see nothing else.
So would Beardtrice be like glancing about pretty obviously?
I was at first as I started walking over, but with your heckling, I've become too wrapped up in protecting my lie and actually forgotten why it is that I'm heading over here. And so now I've stopped being so cautious. I'm just engaged in protecting my dignity with you.
And with my role, I'm a wee bit too concerned with how much is left in the flask and to be hunkering down for before we break into another wineskin or.
And I think Gulbrandr's getting suspicious. Like, why move over here? Like, what's the point? And I start glancing about.
Yeah, give me a perception check, same DC. Yeah, so Obsidian, you would know that, you've spent some time, you guys have been close in the last, 6 days traveling in these mountains. You've gotten a chance to really get to know one another, and some of those little quirks and mannerisms. Beardtrice is definitely acting out of sorts. She's a grizzled veteran of high standing, so she's not easily shaken, and she clearly was searching and looking for something. Brand, as you pull up next to these other dwarfs, Torgga kind of just hauling off of her wineskin, and Beardtrice just maybe shuffling and stamping her cold feet, you see a track almost covered, and Torgga just about to kick snow over it and cover it completely before you're able to catch her. You muted, man.
Yeah. I was going to say, Beardtrice, are you sure you're all right? You know, did you see something? And I look at Brand and I say, I don't think she's acting normally. I think there's something going on here.
And I start to call out to Torgga as she's about to like kick this pile over, and I'm like, Torgga, no, and it covers it. And I'm just kind of like, I just stop, and I'm just thinking as hard as I can to try and remember every detail of that track. Does it match anything in my memory?
Yeah, give me a survival roll. It's just a DC 15.
25.
Perfect. Yeah. So you're able to notice it, and you quickly. It's looks to be a large bear paw, probably one of the largest bear paws you've seen in quite some time. The larger bears usually head further north and away from any sort of civilization, but you don't see no other sign of it. It seems like it was moving, like almost parallel with the path your party was taking.
And would a bear be smart? But these bears in the north, there's still intelligence of a bear, right? They're not more intelligent here.
Well, you've heard tell of this larger type of bear called a cave bear. That's a very skilled hunter. It's cunning. I don't know if you would necessarily call it intelligent, but I think cunning is the best way to describe it. Very skilled in the art of hunting and corralling their prey.
Okay.
Distracted by movement from the side, you turn to see Beardtrice hoisting a shield off the back and tossing it down onto the ground. And just as you see it impact the snow, you see a pristine print crushed underneath the shield as Beardtrice sets down upon it and uses it as a seat.
Those damn cataracts always getting in the way.
Gulbrandr's just shaking his head still. Just, these mountain dwarves all think that they're rangers. They all think that they know how to track and how to see these things because they live here. And he's just shaking his head. But at least he's a little bit less concerned because it's just a bear. And bears generally don't hunt in packs. So if it's a single bear, he thinks we can take it and that it won't attack a group.
Yeah, you're fairly confident in that. You think that probably what it would hope to do is separate one of you from the rest and then take advantage of that. So Brand, you would think the wisest counsel would be to remain together, not to separate yourselves.
And I turn towards the group, and I point where Beardtrice is sitting and where Torgga has kicked a pile of snow, and I say, there's a cave bear around here, tracking us, I'm sure. Don't split up. Go with a buddy if you need to do anything.
Oh, aye, that's what you were telling me then before I kicked that pile of snow on that. I thought it was a gopher hole. Just the first top layer of snow anyways. Come on, we'll get it off. And I start taking down my trousers to pee in the hole. Don't worry, I'll melt the first top layer off and we'll get a good look at that print.
And Brand just shakes his head and just says, you'll melt the print as well. And he gophers in the mountain, just shaking his head and says dwarves, and then turns to study the landscape once more.
Yeah, you can see that it's continued its path kind of in a northeasterly direction from where you see the print. You see no other sign of it.
You wait till I roll higher.
So we're basically taking a downtime real quickly right now, right?
Yep.
Like that's what's going on. Okay.
So, sorry to interrupt you, but I would say one of the things you guys would notice is that it's a pretty steady snow coming down, and it's a bitter breeze. It's not a constant and it's not a heavy breeze, but it's enough that when it blows, it just kicks snow right up into you, and it finds every little crevasse that your winter garb is not protecting, and you guys are starting to get that chill down into your bones. You know, you've all spent time in the mountains, and you know that if you don't find shelter, probably within the next hour or so, you probably will freeze to death on this mountain as you see the sun setting further in the distant horizon.
I ask the group if anybody wants a hot drink, and recommend maybe we go find some shelter soon.
I look at her and just they've all been kind of just like so. What is it? So just strange, and I was just like under my breath. I sure hope you don't mean we're gonna drink her piss, and turn and start walking up towards the rocky outcropping.
No.
I'm like, I look back at them. We need to build a shelter, or we're gonna die on this mountain. And I'm not questioning your skills at survival. I look at Beardtrice.
I don't know why you would go to such efforts. There are better ways to protect yourselves from this kind of cold. Stop thinking so human, Gulbrandr.
Aye, but he is right, though. I believe we should probably get off this mountain. Starting to freeze my tits off.
I just roll my eyes at my great aunt Torgga. I'm like, yes, let's find some shelter here.
I begin peering around as I'm sort of like massaging the cold spots uncomfortably in front of everybody, trying to be as uncomfortable as possible while looking for a spot that we can get. I'm assuming this is after the snowdrift?
Yeah, it's further up. Yeah, so
yeah.
Brand points out like an outcropping of rocks, and some trees are pressed in around it that would afford you guys more adequate shelter than this snowdrift. Beardtrice,
if there's any game, I would love for all of us to help. Maybe like find a shelter. If there's like maybe we could all be like, come on, and we could all look for one and something.
Beardtrice, can you give me a quick con save? DC 15.
Gosh, it's freezing, isn't it? I tell you, maybe it is time we make camp.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you probably wouldn't say it to the others, admitting your age, but yeah, you're definitely feeling the cold. Not like you wouldn't have in your youth. It would not have affected you so, but yeah, you find yourself suffering from the first level of exhaustion as this cold is taking the better of you. So you guys press forward to this outcropping, and you're able to very quickly, in the last setting rays of the sun, able to make a camp here, and everyone is able to effectively protect themselves from the elements. Beardtrice, you're able to help get a fire going and take some of the chill from your bones.
Actually, I've got a slightly different plan.
Okay, let's hear it.
As we get to the rocky outcropping, I start making harmonic sounds in my throat. And I'm just going to sit down, and it's not actually probably the best spot to protect myself from the wind, and like the other guys looking, why you just sat down there type thing. I've just thrown my shield down and sat on it, and I'm making this harmonic sound in my throat. And then as I do so, a dome starts to appear around me and around the rest of us. And yes, indeed, as somebody just put in the chat, it's Learmon's tiny heart starts appearing. So an opaque dome starts appearing around us, and we can see through from the inside, but there's a definite shimmer there as I keep the harmonic going, and then I lay down on the shield, and it's all nice and warm inside, and comfortable. See, human, you just don't know mountains like dwarves.
Yeah. Perfect. So yeah, so the rest of the night passes rather uneventfully for you all. You have a quick meal. You spend time maybe chatting amongst yourselves, and you wake early in the morning. And as your magic gives way, so the snow falls aside, and you see there's several more new fresh inches of snow. And you are once again ready to set out on your path. Excuse me?
I make dwarf angels.
Perfect.
I sit.
Probably more like dwarf balls, just considering her size. But yeah. You said fresh layer of snow? Torgga's in there.
Obsidian is just kind of talking to her warhammer.
I kind of look at
another day out in the woods. We could do this.
I look at this dwarf angel, and to Gulbrandr, it looks like a giant tortoise. And I kind of just like am slowly just nodding my head, like, and then I start shaking my head, and I put away whatever I got out in the night, and I just pack up.
What little did he realize that it was a dwarven technique for bathing. Because after she's done rolling around in all that snow, she just takes like a spare cloth and starts rubbing down her fur and combing out her beard, giving it the quick 1-2.
Oh, gosh, I hate the pins in the morning. And now the cold air is about to hit from the hut plating, isn't it? The cold air is about to... Oh, I hate that bit. Oh, my word. Oh, my leg. Oh, mornings. Mornings. Has somebody not put a fire on yet? I want a warm drink. Can't head out into this cold without a warm drink. Gulbrandr, you're always bragging about how you know mountains. Why haven't you got that done yet?
I just shake my head. No fires. It'll alert the dragon. And I go back to, I pull out this very fine, opaque amber bottle, and I pour myself a small drink of sun whiskey. Sip it, toss it back, and just smile to myself and put the whiskey away.
I turn to Beardtrice and I say, I can help you with that. And I get out a cup and I get out a little spoon. And in that spoon on the handle, this cute little pewter spoon, there's a little bit of red obsidian. And as I start to stir the cup, it gets warmer and warmer and steam rises off it, melts the snow, turns into hot water. I toss a few herbs in it and hand it to Beardtrice. Maybe this will help.
Oh, bless you and your clerical ways, your religion, God, whatever God it is. What God do you worship anyway? Oh, yes. Oh, I can feel my throat. It's almost like when I was 320 again.
And as I'm drinking the drink, I think I see Torgga staring at me longingly. At this bottle, this opaque amber bottle in my hand, and I kind of like look at her and just sigh and pull out another small shot glass almost made of bone, pour her a small amount and put it in her hand and walk back to where I was drinking before.
I take it and smell it. I dip my finger in it and rub it. Put it under my nose. Put it on my lips. Dab it behind my ears. Take the shot. Oh. Some dragon.
Yeah. So after a good night's rest in Beardtrice's magical hut, you guys would have applied any frostbite salve to any of your outer extremities that were exposed to the cold. Yeah, and now with those of you who have taken a sip of the sun whiskey, you're feeling the warmth return to all your limbs, and you eat a quick meal. You notice that your rations are running low. You guys had thought that maybe week and a half you would find this dragon. So you see that you have about a week's worth of rations remaining. And you set back out again. Several hours into your trek further up this mountain, you see that the trees are starting to thin and give way to smaller scrub brush, and then they give away totally, and you're looking across this vast, like almost open plain. And off in the distance, you can see the spire that Bran has been leading you toward. And as you get closer, you can see that this almost cacophonous cloud of snow and ice just seems to be just swirling and moving around the peak. If you guys had any doubt before, you know now that that is the lair of this great worm. What is it you guys will do?
Judging the distance, how far away is it?
You would probably say it's probably maybe a good half mile across this plain till there's more scrub brush picks up again, and then the slope starts to rise more towards this this distant peak.
And I'm guessing the slope's pretty steep, yeah?
Yeah, you're thinking that you've been lucky. You have not had to use any of your climbing gear, ropes, pitons, or anything, or cleats, but you're thinking probably shortly after crossing this plain, you would need to again, you would have to start employing those items.
Is it just plain in either direction, and then in the distance slope?
Yeah, it's rather vast. So it's probably about maybe you're kind of to one side is probably about maybe a mile, and you see that it kind of creates. It's almost like this big oval, roughly, and it's probably about a mile and a half, 2 miles to your left. So you may either skirt along the line, which you think will probably add a day's travel to your journey, or you could cut across this plain. Of course, the plain would leave you more exposed. And you see that wind kind of just whips across it in gusts, blowing snow, and then settling.
I look over in Bran's direction and call at him throughout the snow. Why there, Brand? To the direction of the one that you said that would give us, that would take an extra day, but we'd be able to come around. That's what I sort of motion in like one movement, like to give him the question. Hey, are we going to go that way? You want to go that way?
I look back at the group, knowing that I'm part of the expedition. Yeah, I'm leading them to this point, but it's all of our choices. And I look at all of them and I say, do we risk being seen, or do we take the long way around and take a little bit more time to get there?
I sort of wave my hand like, no, they don't matter. They don't matter. But go on, sorry.
Like, Torgga, we do too matter. But I agree. I think I'd rather go around, if that's what Torgga's saying. What about you, Beardtrice?
I don't think it's a Drake. We may as well just march across and save our rations. We want to march home afterwards, don't we?
Well, whatever you all decide, I'll go with you. I'm definitely feeling like the junior in the group.
I definitely feel like I want to get a drop on the dragon. I don't want to be walking right in through the open mouth.
But you feel that the dragon hasn't already seen us?
I prefer my chances on the cliff than on the plain.
And I look at them as they're discussing this, and I say, if the dragon has seen us before this point, it thinks we probably stopped in Blizzard. We at least could catch it by surprise.
Yeah, give me an insight, Brand.
Holy crap, my dice love me. 23.
Oh yeah, yeah. You think that that's pretty sound reasoning based on your experience in hunting beasts.
I say dragons are intelligent, but they're prideful. It'll have thought we stopped in the snow, that we stopped against the blizzard. We at least, if we went around, could get a couple, maybe a half day's jump on the beast. It thinks we're still down the slope.
Very well. If you feel that we can outsmart a dragon, then we'll follow your plan, Gulbrandr. But I suppose we'll have enough rations for the return journey. It's highly unlikely we'll survive.
Oh, come on, Beardy. It's just half a day. Your bones can take it.
My bones have taken this mountain for more years than you're likely to ever live for.
Aye, that may be true. But plenty more to live if we take that half a day.
So what I'm going to do, though, is, yeah, we're going around the outside. But as a readied action, I prep Pass Without Trace on the chance that we do see the dragon coming out of its lair. I've got an eye fixed on that peak. If I see the dragon come out, I'm using Pass Without Trace immediately.
Okay. Yeah, so you guys set out and you start making your way around this plain. And as you do so, everyone give me a perception check, please, as you're moving along this edge. So Obsidian and Brand, you know, probably an hour or so into this trek around the edge, you immediately see movement, but not where you would expect it to come from. You watch the peak, Brand, intently expecting the dragon to rise, but you do not see her. But what you see is several forms moving in the wood below you, up towards your location. Whatever might have, and you catch a glimpse, and you're almost certain it's a bear, a large bear. But then you see several others moving in too, which would not be normal.
So it's multiple bears moving towards us.
Yeah, you counted at least 3.
And how far away are they?
Well, they're moving in and out through the trees and scrub brush, so yeah, several hundred feet.
Okay. Have they spotted us? Are they looking like intently at where we are?
Yeah, your hunting skill tells you that they are definitely tracking you.
Okay. I turn and look at the group. I relay this, and I see that Obsidian's already seen it. And I relay this information, and I say, if we kill them, odds are that Sa'Keeth, is that its name?
Sa'Keeth, yes.
Sa'Keeth. The Sa'Keeth will know that we are here. I say, do we try and hide from them, or do you wish to fight?
Well, if we don't kill them, they'll kill us.
Not if they can't see us.
Would I be knowledgeable enough in, as he described the animals, to know that I highly doubt would be able to like out-scent them because they'd be able to pick up our trail? So as in, we kind of have to? Sure.
Yeah, give me an insight.
Sure.
Yeah, DC is just going to be 10.
Nice, natural 11.
Perfect. Yeah. Your conventional wisdom would tell you that unless you're like upwind from them, I'm not a big hunter, so whatever breeze would be blowing opposite from where they are, unless the breeze was blowing the opposite way, yeah, they probably would be able to track you by scent. You're thinking that's probably how they've been tracking you.
How big are these? Can I get a look at them?
You would guess that they're larger than a horse, but smaller than an elephant.
And
If
how
you,
about
if you
how
knew what
far
an
away?
elephant was, yeah, there's several hundred feet. They're
All right.
large, rather large.
I turn to look at everybody, and I grin. I grab my battle axe, and I go, "First one's supper!" And I run down the hill at them with my battle axe, and do like a tug. I'm trying to get their attention, and as close as I get, I can rage. I'm going to rage and attack them.
Perfect. Why don't you give me a dexterity save as you start to do that, Torgga? And so the rest of you see Torgga raise her battle axe and start to run down, and all of a sudden you see this streak of black and white, and it just explodes in the ground next to her. And how did you do? 19, perfect. It at the last second, almost with blinding speed for her size, she dodges this large boulder that explodes into the ground and shatters bits of rock and snow. You take 14 points of bludgeoning damage as this ice and snow crash into you. You also hear the snapping and cracking of several trees and the loud kind of thunderous.
Is it enough to afford a quick look, like a glance to?
Yeah,
as
and
I'm running towards the
it's coming up towards you from the same direction that the bears are.
Oh wow! Well, I stare it down. Rah!
Well, I missed that. What?
Sorry, I stare it down. Like I'm looking at it as I'm charging to find out what it is. I'm assuming.
Yeah. Yeah, you see this large, monstrous, blue-skinned humanoid. You immediately recognize it as a frost giant, and it kind of steps in and out between the trees.
Licking the battle axe.
All right. So why doesn't everybody roll initiative? Yeah. So you would. And oh wait, you're a barbarian, right, Torgga?
Yeah.
So yeah, you made your save anyways, but anytime something like that happens, let me know, because you have that that ability that allows you to sense danger. So I would have given you advantage on that save, but you made it.
Yes, I did, but it's only on stuff that I can see. Like it does say traps and spells, but I'm assuming it's something that I need to witness, like a storm coming towards me, or if that boulder was hitting me.
Okay.
Like coming at me.
So Torgga, you would act first, but let me set the initiative up for everybody.
Sure.
Okay.
We do also all have an inspiration if we want to use advantage too.
So we have so Brand, you got a 26 on your initiative.
I gotta love that alert feat.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, so that's the initiative. So Brand, you would be able to act first as you see this large giant kind of step out from behind one of these trees, and it's making its way up, and you see this large two-handed axe.
So it's you said it's like 100 feet away from us.
Yeah, you
Okay.
would estimate that it's right around 100 feet away.
So Brand kind of reaches down, and you see him sketch on his pants, on his legs. A searing brand of light appears that sinks down to his legs. I'm casting Longstrider on myself, and I sprint off in the direction that Torgga went, but I kind of cut to the left, kind of going for a flanking. And if it's okay with you, I don't know if you treat climbing as an action, but I'm going to take a point position on a tree.
Yeah, that's fine. It is an action to
Okay, well, I cast Longstrider as an action then, so I can't take an action.
Oh, actually, no. Well, it would be your movement. It takes half your movement to climb.
Okay, I don't think I could make.
If you wanted to climb 15 feet, it would take your full 30 movement.
I don't think I could get up a tree then, so I'll just sprint off to the right, moving 45 feet to a point where I'm kind of aiming up, almost like a musket squad, as they kind of run into this area towards our barbarian.
Okay, perfect. And I believe you said you were raging, Torgga?
Oh, absolutely.
Perfect. Yeah. Okay. Torgga, you are up.
So
let me describe what you see. So as you're kind of barreling down this slight slope through these shrub trees and small evergreens, you see off to your left, you see a bear kind of lumbering towards you, and you see this giant about 100 feet away, and you see him reaching down, and you think he's probably grabbing another boulder to throw at you. And he's just going, as he's
my focus would go.
And does anyone giant?
This is the favorite enemy.
Oh yeah, so you know giant. So what you hear him yell is, "You will never reach the dragon. I will crush you."
Oh, okay. It's a servant of the dragon.
I speak giant, so I understood that.
So
as
anyone that speaks giant, that's what you would hear him say.
Yep.
So you are up. What will you do?
So you said there was a bear here and the giant in front. You said the giant was about 100 feet away?
Yeah, roughly 100 feet.
Okay, I'm raging. Is bear closer?
Yeah, the bear is definitely closer.
Bear must be closer.
You could easily reach the bear on your turn if you wanted.
I don't know if I should go for the bear, the giant. I'll go bear. I'm going to slaughter this bear. I turn and do a. Is it possible that I can do? I got 2 attacks, right? Yeah, I have 2 attacks. So do I get full attack or?
Yeah. Yep. It's not like earlier editions where if you use full movement, you only get the 1 attack. No, you get 2.
Gotcha. Yeah, it's my first foray into 5th edition, so bear with me. Okay, 26 and a 22.
I missed the last one.
26.
Yeah, so 26 will hit.
For 8 points.
Okay. And the 22 hits as well. Oh, you didn't roll a 20. Oh, yeah, 22.
Yeah, 22. It was 26 and 22. And does the 22 hit as well?
Yep.
Awesome. So that's another 9 points.
Okay. Yeah, so you cut pretty deeply into this large bear as it rears up to maul you, and you see blood just coating its almost snow white fur.
Nice. I come up underneath with a swing because I'm using both of my hands, and Torgga's are 5 feet, and in between the 200 to 300 mark. So she's squat. Comes up underneath and bear a new one.
Perfect. So after Torgga attacks this bear, the rest of you would see the giant. He reaches down and pulls up another stone, and he just lobs it at who is right behind Torgga.
I would imagine that would be me.
Okay, so yeah, you see this large boulder come hurtling at you, Obsidian. And you're able to see it in time that you roll out of the way, and it just slams harmlessly into the ground, missing you. Then you feel the ground shake again, and you hear trees snapping as another of these giant behemoths come barreling toward you, Obsidian, and you, Beardtrice. And it runs in and swings wildly with its axe, but misses at you, Beardtrice, and it slams it into the ground. The bear. So the bear is going to attack you now, Torgga. It makes 2 attacks. One a bite and one a claw.
I'm actually on the list before the bears.
Oh, okay, you go. Sorry, my bad.
That's all right. Am I close enough? If I'm within 30 feet of my comrades, or if I've been trying to keep up and hang out with them?
Yeah, you're easily within 30 feet of Beardtrice. Torgga has run out of that range, and I will leave it to Brand whether he moved that further than 30 feet away from you, as he's kind of skirted off to the side.
Oh, I would have, yeah.
Would I be able to move to a position that I was within, could, like, they were within a 30-foot radius of me?
If you moved closer to Torgga, you would probably move out of range of Beardtrice. But you probably would be able to include Brand in that as well. So you would get Torgga and Brand.
Can I be somewhere I can get Beardtrice, me, and Torgga within a 30-foot circle? I mean, that's a radius, not a diameter.
Okay, so it's 60 foot across.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you could probably move forward, probably about 15 or so feet, and you would capture.
Okay.
Actually, you would capture everybody.
Well, yeah, I can only do 3 people, but I'm going to cast this. So holding my sword, my warhammer in one hand, my shield in the other, but I put my fist up against my chest on my holy symbol, and concentrate for a moment. You could see the holy symbol start to kind of glow that warm red color, and I can cast Bless on the other 3 members of my party. So whenever they make an attack roll or a saving throw, it's a concentration up to a minute. The target can roll a d4 and add the number rolled to the attack or saving throw.
Perfect. So what does that look like, Obsidian, as you cast your holy magic?
All right. Well, I can say I kind of put my hand that's holding the shield up against that holy symbol, and as I concentrate, I kind of mumble just a prayer under my breath very quickly, and you'll see there's some of that flame obsidian worked into that little holy symbol, and it starts to glow in this kind of reddish glow, and it just quickly spreads out and envelops all of my comrades, and they feel this kind of warm, tingly feeling from it. So that should be everybody but me.
Yep. Perfect. Great. So now the bears attacks you, Torgga. This bloodied bear. And 19 and an 18.
19 hits.
Okay, the 19. So you take 9 piercing damage as it bites into your shoulder before you shove it away.
Well, then it's reflected, of course, by my tough skin, because my barbarian rage makes me immune to all damage except psionic.
Yeah. Oh, you're resistant to it, right?
I just take it.
It's you're resistant to all damage except psychic? Yeah. So what did you
Yeah,
take?
resistance.
You take half damage. So you would take 4 points of piercing damage.
Oh, that's what that means? You take half
Yeah.
damage?
Yeah, it would be immunity. If it is means you take no damage. Okay, so perfect. Yeah, and as that happens, all of a sudden you hear a crash and a shower of snow as another bear breaks out next to this one, Torgga, and attacks you as well. And this one, you're able to kind of sidestep, and its attacks miss you completely. And Beardtrice, you're now up. You see 2 bears on the field, and this giant, and this large giant. Actually, 2 giants now.
Okay, and one of the bears is immediately in front of me. Is that right?
No, it's actually it's down in 2 bears by Torgga.
Okay, so what's the closest thing to me? That's gonna be a bear, right?
You could get to one of the bears if you ran down. Your movement is 25.
Okay, so yeah, I'm going to do that. So I start running towards the bear, trudging, through the snow, clanging away, and I reach for my sword and my shield, and I pull the shield forward. And as I reach for the sword and bring it up with intent to harm, my muscles immediately bulge from the magic enchanted into the blade. The runes etched down the length of the blade just glow briefly for a moment and along the blade, and then fade away. And I get, that's a nat 20, and the other one is a 14. That's going to miss, isn't it? 14.
Nope, they both hit. Now, which bear are you striking? The one that Torgga had wounded, or the other one that just joined it? It's
it'll be whichever one was closest to me in your mind.
Yeah, it would probably be the one that just came into the fray, because it would be back 2, so you're striking at its back.
Okay, and what's your approach to damage?
If you roll a crit, it's max damage, your max base damage, and then you just roll the extra die and add it to that.
So max damage plus a die.
Yep.
Gotcha. Okay, so that would be okay, so yeah, so I bring my sword sort of down across this bear with surprising potency, and then again, after I finish my thrust, I come back across, clouting it across the side of the ear, and I've done a lot. So plus 6 on top of those d8s and another 8, so 14 plus math. Too early. 22.
So give me a d10 roll, Beardtrice, as you strike mightily into this bear.
That's a 10.
Yeah. So the blow actually strikes the bear, so it cannot make any reactions. It's stunned. And did you do your second attack?
Yeah, but I did both at once.
Okay.
So yeah, that critical and then clouting it across the air as the second strike.
Okay. Perfect.
Which is what leaves it sort of stunned and its head's ringing.
All right. And that puts us back at the top of the order. Brand, you're now up. So you see these 2 bears that have set upon Torgga and now Beardtrice. And then you see a second giant has joined the fray. You would guess based by that he's moving in to probably strike at the 2 dwarfs, and the other one is staying back and throwing these large boulders.
So one of the bears looks like it's pretty almost dead, right?
You would say both of these bears appeared pretty bloodied.
Okay. So I'm gonna, as a bonus action, cast Hunter's Mark on one of the bears.
Okay.
And what I will do is I line up my crossbow with this bear, gazing down the sights, and you see the bolt lined inside of it freeze over, becoming an icicle almost. And I lean down and I use Sharpshooter. So I'm going to take -5 on my roll to hopefully peg this thing for 10 additional damage. So Bless adds to attack rolls also, right?
I believe so. Yep.
So that is going to be a 17 to hit.
Yep, you hit.
Okay, so that'll do 8 plus 3, 11 plus a d8, 15 plus a d6, 21 plus, an additional, plus a d4, 22, 24, 34 points of damage.
Perfect. Now, which one are you shooting? The one that Torgga had struck, or the one that Beardtrice struck?
I'll shoot. I'll shoot the one
shoot
Torgga
mine.
struck.
Yeah.
Which one?
The one Torgga struck.
Yeah. So your bolt, it flies true, and it pierces the bear's thick skull, and it drops right at Torgga's feet.
Okay. And then I have a second attack, and so I'm going to transfer the hunter's mark over to the other bear, and then my eyes line down on this one as just lightning fast. My hand goes back to my quarrels. I pull one out, slap it down, and it's already locked and loaded. I breathe in again, and I sharpshoot this one again also. So this time it'll be 13, 7, 15.
15 points of damage.
Does 15 hit?
Oh,
It's
15,
a 15 to hit.
15 hits. Yeah.
Okay, 15 hits. So now I have to roll the damage out. Okay, 9, 6, 4, 8, 17, 18, 28 points of damage.
Yeah. So again, true to form, you hit the other bear. It pierces one of its eyes, and it kills it. It drops dead. So the bolt just whizzes over your shoulder, Beardtrice, and kills this bear before you.
And I'll transfer the hunter's mark to whatever is closest. So I guess that would be the other giant that's running up.
Right.
And that's it for my turn. I can't do anything else.
Perfect. And do you want to move?
Yeah, so I'll start edging my way forward, and I'll get behind a tree in case it decides to throw a rock at me. But I'm looking around the tree just in case so I can dive out of the way.
All right, good. Okay. Torgga, you're up. So the bear you are fighting has been slain by the ranger. So you have these two giants, one who's right at now probably about 70 feet from you, the one that's throwing the boulders, but there's another one that has moved closer, and you would say that he's probably about 40 feet from you.
You said that this is on an incline as well, eh?
Yeah, it's a gradual slope, maybe like a 4 degree.
I want to spider silk and latch on to something so that I can make like a jump attack with my battle axe at one of these giants. Is that something feasible I could do?
Yeah.
Describe it.
Yeah. So you have two attacks. So if you forgo one of your attacks, I would say that you would be able to do that. You would maybe you would have some quick latch that you slap onto your belt, and so you can get one solid attack off on this giant that's approaching you.
Nice. So I unfurl my spider silk with and I'm just running, sort of like put one hand up on top of the bear to sort of weave around, and as I'm sort of running around the side of the bear, you can see my battle axe, huge, like a gigantic 2x4, wrapped in her huge ham-like hands, and she detaches the one bottom part of it. And wrapping the spider silk around, I throw it at like an outcropping or something of that nature where I can gain just a little bit of momentum, holding on to it like this so that I can, with my other free hand, come by and attack a giant.
Perfect. Yeah, so you leap.
What should I do?
Yeah, just make an attack roll. The giant looks surprised,
and that is a 7.
As your hairy form comes hurtling at him. What was your 2 hit?
And a D4. Sorry. 17, that is 20.
Yep, that's a hit.
Oh, max damage. So 14 with the no, sorry. 12 with the battle axe. And is there any other damage that I'm adding other than just the straight battle axe damage, or is there also?
Doesn't your weapon flare with fire?
Sorry?
Doesn't your weapon flare with fire when it hits? So did you add a d6 for that?
Yeah.
And you add your rage damage?
I haven't added my rage damage. So that would
so
be
you get
14.
+2. Yeah.
And then 6 fire damage. Wow, nice. Max on the fire
20.
damage as well.
Okay. Yeah, so you...
What's that?
It's a pretty vicious blow, but it doesn't seem to pierce very deeply into the giant's frozen flesh. As you come down,
whittle them down.
Yeah, yes, perfect. Awesome. Next is the giant that's throwing boulders. He looks and sees a perfect target in Beardtrice out in the open with the 2 dead bears, and throws and flies wide. Beardtrice doesn't even have to move, as his aim is not true. The giant in front of you, Torgga, raises its large battle axe and takes 2 quick blows at you, trying to cut you in half. And hold on. Yeah, so you immediately sidestep the blows, and it just resounds off the earth. And
kicking up some snow and some rock, just getting lodged into my beard.
Right. Obsidian, it's your turn. You're muted.
Sorry. Am I able to run up to the dragon that was approaching us? A dragon. My goodness. Giant.
Yeah, you could skitter down the slope and near Torgga if you would like.
Yeah, I'd like to do that. I'd like to bring Betsy into play here.
Perfect.
So I'm gonna come up to that guy, and I'm gonna give Betsy a big old swing. And all right, let's see. Just a second. I'm sorry about this. That would be 24 to hit.
That will hit.
Yay. So as I swing Betsy in this big circle, the little red obsidian things on it start to light up and get brighter and hotter. And let's see. It's going to be for a total, when it hits, there's this big burst of flame, and it comes to a total of 11 points of damage.
Perfect, yeah. So it bellows in pain as you strike it, just as Torgga did. So 11, you said?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you have a second attack?
Kneecap, man. No, I don't have a second attack. Let me see.
I thought you were a war cleric. I thought as a bonus action, you could, if you take the attack action, you can make a second attack.
You're right. You're right. I forgot about that. I'm not used to her. All right. Well, we're going to swing Betsy again for another big. And she starts to heat up again, and we'll see what she does. For the same amount. So
perfect.
It hits. 25. Well, no. It hits. I haven't rolled the damage.
Okay.
That's not quite as good. I wonder if I'm forgetting anything. Comes to a total of 9 damage this time.
Okay, 9. Okay.
Another burst of flame, you know. The way to go, Bets!
You get a sense that you and Torgga are starting to whittle this giant down. He has several little cuts in. You see he has kind of this patchwork leather armor and hides, and you see that some of it has caught fire where your weapons have struck it. And now it is bears. So, Brand, you have the alert feat, which allows you not to be surprised, which saves you from what would be a crippling attack as this bear bursts from this tree near you and attacks you. And yes, it does truly save you as you kind of roll out of the way and you see its claws just rake across this tree that you were just a second ago taking shelter behind. So you now find yourself facing one of these large bears. Beardtrice, you are up.
I'm going to sprint forward at the giant that Torgga is fighting. My legs are energized by the strength given to me by the magic in the sword. Charge forward, and after stumbling just before getting to it, I land a weak blow on its armor. So I'll spin around.
What did you get, though?
I got a 6. Oh, hang on, no, 15 actually.
15, you hit.
Oh, do I? Oh, blimey. Right, okay. Well, it's a weak blow, and it's just a little bit of concussion as I hit him on the armor, sort of at 6 hit points. But then I'm going to try and sort of recover myself and land a more solid blow now that I've arrived, and do so firmly catching his lower ankle for another 6 actually, so 12 in total.
Yes. Yeah, he bellows in rage as you guys are surrounding him and cutting at him. You see that he's frustrated and he's lifting his axe, looking at which one of you he should strike. And we are back at the top of the order.
So I think that what alerts me is these bears are massive, and I hear this snap, and my eyes widen. I look to the side, and in the corner of my eye, I see this huge figure moving towards me, and just calmly and deftly, I pull my crossbow into my chest and just roll, these swiping claws going over the top of me, breaking bits and pieces of this tree, sending them flying around me. I come up out of my roll, looking up at this behemoth of a creature, and my crossbow lines up with the bottom of its jaw, and I say, wrong choice, and I pull the trigger. And
yes.
I take sharpshooter also again on this one, and since I have
Yep.
crossbow X, I don't have disadvantage in close combat. Ooh, yeah, that's definitely gonna hit. That's 20. It's 30 minus 5, 25.
Yep. Yeah, you easily find your mark.
Oh, I don't get my hunter's mark on this one. Dang it. Okay, well, this will be a total of 12, 14, 24 points of damage as this thick icicle just slams into this thing's jaw.
Yeah, give me a D10.
4.
Yeah, so this bolt drives up into its up and through its throat, and you see it pierce out through the back of its head, and it shudders and falls to the ground. It's not dead, but it appears as though it's in some sort of shock.
Okay.
So you could finish it off without making a roll on your second attack.
I'll finish it off. I walk up and I pull the crossbow bolt out of the bottom of this thing's jaw, and just in one fell swoop, I Daryl this thing and slam it into its eye, going straight through the back of the brain and popping out the back of the head, and just blood leaking from it, rip it back out, and just load it into the crossbow and turn towards the giants.
Perfect. Yeah, so you still have a movement if you'd like to use it.
Yeah, I will sprint. I can't take the dash action, so I'll move 45 feet to line up. Would that line me up with the one throwing boulders all the way from the side?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so I get parallel with it, and I take aim.
Perfect, nice. And now it is Torgga. You're up, fighting this giant with your compatriots.
Yes, all three of us are sort of swarmed around this giant. Starting to show a bit of injury, and I'm still raging and take one big foul swoop with my battle axe and try to take off his darn leg. And I have 2 attacks, that's right, I'm sorry.
Yes. Hey, it might be easier too. When you guys roll your attacks, roll your damage at the same time. It'll speed things up a bit.
Yeah, I just have a lot of dice to roll, so sorry.
Oh, and my first misses. I'm a no, wait, 12, 14, 15. 15.
15 does hit.
Oh, nice. 8 to 10 points total.
Yep. Yeah, you guys are just. It's like the cut of 1,000 deaths or 1,000 cuts of death or whatever, however that saying goes. As you guys are just whittling away at this giant behemoth of a giant.
Yeah. And then a 17.
Yeah, that'll hit as well.
Yeah, for 16 points.
Okay, yes. Yeah, this giant is now looking bloodied to you all.
Awesome. So I'm twirling my axe to get, like, you know, as I make my first cut and begin to cut through some skin around the tendons or some strap of armor that he might have on his shin, and spin my axe around again for the second swipe to come around. And you could see as the blood, the warm spray begins to hit her fur and part of her weapon and her armor and stuff, that she begins to foam at the mouth a little bit more, because I'm only about halfway, not even halfway through my rage yet, so I'm still like, like I want more.
Perfect.
Growling fairly.
So Jor picks up another large stone and hucks it at you, Brand, as you get into position. You're leveling your crossbow, and he fires at you. All right. Yeah. And it strikes you. You take, you try to duck out of the way, but it's not enough. You take 28 bludgeoning damage as this thing hurtles at you at amazing speed and crashes into you. But you're able to stop yourself from being crushed underneath it. He bellows and as he sees you kind of stumble back, thinking he's probably killed you. Veer, now appearing bloodied, you see panic on his face, and he looks to run. The three of you can make opportunity attacks against him as he turns to run.
Does 18 hit?
Yeah, so just so you guys know, 15 is the AC for the
okay. Giant. Well, that's so. As he turns to run, I spin old Betsy around, and she starts to glow and spin, and when she hits, that fire gouts out, and we do 6 points of damage.
Yes,
catch him on the back of the leg as he goes.
Beardtrice, yeah, you can make an opportunity attack. You can too, Torgga. It's one free attack on this giant as it tries to flee.
As it turns to flee, I...
hold on a second. Hold on a second. I think, Becky, I think you're muted.
Yeah, it's okay. I saw I was muted and was waiting. But yeah, I clap it on the back of the shin before its long legs take it out of my reach. That's 6 points of damage again.
Sorry about that, Torgga. Did you hit as well?
Oh, yeah, no worries. Yeah, I hit with a 16 for 11 damage. So as it's
perfect,
as it's going away, I hit the blade. If I can, I want to do it like, you know how the Fast and the Furious, when he just like steps out of the vehicle and the vehicle's still running.
Yeah.
Like going, I just like do.
Yeah, so you just see all these cuts upon it, and you see it's some of his hide is still smoldering, and you just see this its blue icy blood is just spattered across the white snow, and you see him just barrel ass down the away from you. And that would put us up to, I believe, Obsidian.
Well, there's nothing else I can actually reach. Great.
You're about 50-ish, you would say 40 or 50 feet from, because you guys moved down the hillside to engage that giant. So you're closer to Jor, who is the one that's throwing the stones.
Okay. Just a second. I'm going to have to take a quick look at my spell list. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Oh my gosh. Thought I was organized. That's not gonna work. Okay. I'm gonna go back to plan A. Sorry. And so I reach in under my cloak. I quick stick the warhammer back and pull out a hand axe, and take that and just throw it after the giant as he goes away. And I roll a natural 1.
Oh yeah. So what happens to the axe as Obsidian throws it?
Well, it just goes spinning off and shatters on a tree, but I slip while I try to throw this while I'm running after him and just kind of take a nice slide on my face in the snow.
Yeah. It's not graceful at all.
No, but I'm pro until next turn, I think.
All right. I always notice that players are so brutal to themselves, much worse than I think the game master would be.
It's
but hey,
fun.
if you want to do that, that's fine. You're prone. It actually gives you a disadvantage if you're not going to get crushed by a stone, thankfully. And after you would be the bears, and the bears are dead. Beardtrice, you are up. What would you like to do? You're about 50 feet from this last giant.
Okay, so I'm just going to walk toward him. I put my shield back on my back. I resheath my sword, and I walk toward him. And I'm like, "You're just Sa'Keeth's little toy. Not even its favorite toy. You're not even that muscular. I have more muscles than you." I'm doing vicious mockery. So it's got to be a wisdom saving throw, DC 14.
Perfect. Now, with that, did they have to understand you, or they just have to be able to understand spoken language?
It's the enchantments are woven into the insults, so it doesn't mention anything about language.
I'm just gonna rule that it's gonna impact him, even though he doesn't understand common. But the words still bite into him, and he fails his save. What's the damage?
Okay, it's only 3 damage, but he gets disadvantage on his next attack.
Oh, nice. So yeah, as you're talking with him, and it's actually probably more effective that he does it, that you're not speaking to him in giant, that you're speaking to him in common, because he kind of tilts his head to the side, like like you see a dog do when it hears a strange noise, and that's what he kind of like. And he's kind of reaching down and grabbing a stone, and he's getting ready to throw it. And Brand, you're up.
So if I understand, did the one that tried to run away, did it get away, or did it fall dead?
No, it got away. It looks pretty cut up, pretty bloodied.
So I kind of just shake my head and say, no witnesses. And I raise my crossbow, eyeing this one with my sharpshooter feat. I don't take disadvantage at long range. And I lock my gaze down on this thing. My glowing, as it turns, you see this glowing brand on its back, my hunter's mark still on it. And I just smile to myself and say, easy pickings. And I take a deep breath and I fire. And I'm going to use sharpshooter again.
Yeah.
Okay, so 17 plus 8, 25, 20 to hit.
Yeah. Armor class is 15.
And that's going to be, oh, geez. Okay, well, 16 plus 5, 21 plus 3. Oh, are they immune to cold?
Yes.
Okay, so back to 21 then. Plus 10, 31 on the first shot.
Okay. Yeah. Your bolt sinks deep into its back. You see him stagger and actually fall to a knee before he slowly pushes himself back up.
And I kind of just smile and say, well, you're a strong one, aren't you? And I load another one, pull back, and I line it up with his head. And I take a deep breath, and I fire this other shot. Sharpshooter again. This guy's going down. 9 plus 8 plus 3, 17, 20, 15 on the money.
15 damage.
Yeah, no, 15 to hit. And then for damage, it's 11, 13, 19. Oh, but no, never mind. Minus 2. Okay, so 19, 17, 27, 30 points of damage.
Yeah. Yeah. So it strikes right into the back of his skull. And you see him kind of claw at it. And then he just staggers and the ground shakes a little bit as he just falls dead.
Kind of just shaking my head and say, can't have our dragon friend learning about what's happening now, can we? And I lift it up and aim it at the next one for my next turn.
Perfect. Torgga, you're up. So the lone giant is about 50 feet from you.
By the way, these arrows I almost imagine pass right in front of your face and in front of your chest, just whizzing past you towards this giant. Torgga.
Yeah. I would imagine Torgga pays it as little mind as she can, because she's in the midst of a rage. But still would be noting later on, maybe it'll be my turn to give you a shot of sun whiskey when we're finished. As we've all managed to hit, and you have managed to kill everything that we've hit. So the other giant is about 50 feet away. You can see me looking to my other two, to my great niece, and old Bones, and still raging, making my charge, running forward to whack Thwomp. Would I get 2 attacks? Can I make it this round? I got 35.
What's your movement? 35. So you could dash,
35.
But you wouldn't be able to attack. But you would be in melee.
Can throw while I do? Like one of my? Can I?
Well, no. If you dash, that's all your action. It's your action and your move. Yeah.
Well, then I dash.
But you can move your movement and then throw, like if you had a hand axe or something, you could throw a hand axe, but you wouldn't be in melee.
Perfect. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's a hit. I'm assuming you say 15. So 6, 8 points. 8 points. So sort of like just mad dashing, looking like a train sort of pushing the snow out of the way. And then as I stop as close as I can, hurling just one big huge arm coming out of the snow and throwing a hand axe to land wherever on his person.
Yeah, so it slams into his chest, up by his shoulder, where he's getting ready to throw this stone. And it is his turn, and he's getting ready to throw this stone at you, Brand. And all of a sudden, you hear this bellowing voice, "Yo, Gusho!" And for everybody that speaks Giant, it's enough. And I need everyone to make a perception check as this giant stops mid toss. Yes. Not one. You're too focused on your enemy because you're, yeah. Becky.
I'm just blind rage because
so everyone but Torgga notices. What you see is these large giant forms moving in from all directions. First one, then two, then you stop counting as you get to 10. And one of them strides forwards, a large double-handed maul slung over her shoulder, and you notice this fine breastplate on her chest. And she says, "This is enough." And who all speaks giant? Okay, you three. Beardtrice, you do not speak giant. So Beardtrice, through this whole conversation, hears, but the rest of you would hear is this great.
I do know the situation. I give a little whistle, and I've just cast comprehend languages. So I'm just like,
perfect. So you all hear this. So this great giantess steps forward. The one that was getting ready to throw the stone, when he sees her, lowers it, and she says, "You will not kill any more of my people. To do so would be your end."
Bran points at Torgga like she did it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you don't think that that's going to work, but and you also see several of the giants have on large chains some more of these bears.
I am slowly taking stock of everything around me as I'm sort of who in the are you?
Yeah. She says, I am Oda, Jarl of my clan. What brings you to
You're about to be Jarl of the King.
Yes. She says, what brings you to our lands? Killing our people.
At this point, by the way, Gulbrandr's kind of like nonchalantly like making his way back over to the group, pulling his arrows, retrieving them from the bears, and kind of like walking over. And I look up at Oda, and I believe you're mistaken. Your people attacked us first.
You walk on our lands, we protect them.
You attack us, we protect ourselves.
Kind of rumbles. You will leave our lands or you will die.
I say our quarrel's not with you, but with the Drake. And I kind of look up towards the peak.
As you do that, several of the giants start to laugh until Orda shoots them a look that stifles it. You would kill the Drake? You'd kill the Great Wyrm?
And I kind of look at her, and I kind of just nod and say, this is our intention.
And you see her, she's kind of appraising the four of you. You will all die.
Then you have nothing to worry about.
If I let you pass, the dragon will punish us. Why should we let you pass? Others have tried.
Don't let us pass. The dragon is probably going to punish you anyway. If you do let us pass the job, maybe the dragon won't punish you because it'll be dead and we'll be carrying it on my back.
All right.
And theirs.
Give me a persuasion roll.
Is the help action?
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm going to give him advantage because of what brand I'm assuming you're helping.
Yeah, I'm kind of like, I've got my crossbow over my shoulder, and I'm assuming Oda's been watching this whole thing. So I'm kind of just standing there like, you've seen that we can handle your people pretty easily. Why not a dragon?
And that was a persuasion?
Yes, sir.
What was that roll? Okay. 7?
Oh shit! I was just about to put the DC in chat, but it's not going to matter.
Did you roll with advantage because of the help action?
Yeah, advantage means you get to roll 2 die.
Sorry, no.
Yeah, roll 2d20.
That's right,
and take the
okay.
highest.
Natural 20.
Oh yeah, perfect. You see her.
Nice.
You see her thinking on your words, and you know, several of these other giants are looking at her, and she nods. You see her nodding, and you know what her answer is going to be before she even says it. We will let you pass, but you will kill this word. And then, just as she says that, they just all start turning and walking and fading away. You just hear the rumbles at their thunder of their footsteps. Perfect. Awesome. Everybody. So I stack inspiration. So I know no one's used inspiration yet. So everyone can give themselves one more inspiration.
I turn to my comrades and just say real quietly, well, if the dragon kills us, I guess we don't have to worry about that either, huh? It's not.
Right.
They're not going to be our problem.
Cool. So we're at the midway mark. So we're going to take a quick little 5-minute break, and then we'll do the last half of this one shot.
Dude, great game, man. Freaking loving the whole mountain scene. It's very, very, very cool.
Yeah, I'm actually using Dave Jackson's cinematic environments. It's a great supplement. I recommend it to anyone.
That's on Drive Through RPG, right?
Yep.
That's where it's on sale. Yeah, I remember him posting stuff about that. It looked really interesting. Yeah, dude, it's insane, man. The freaking ranger puts out so much damage.
Yeah, they do, especially if you go ranged.
Yeah, dude, that freaking D10, D6, D4, D8 if they've taken damage, and the +10 and +3. So much damage. It's insane. Oh, what would you have done if we failed on the diplomacy?
Oh, because of the critical nature, most likely you would probably. I don't usually put things on one roll. Like critical points in a game should never be decided on one roll. So there's always, it's like when someone starts to slip off a cliff, I don't say, oh, you're dead. So there's usually an opportunity for them to maybe catch themselves or another player to catch them. Given the critical nature of that, you guys probably would have had to you guys would have not had probably as strong a bargaining position. Like maybe she would have asked some sort of tribute or something for you guys to pass through.
An offering.
Or, yeah.
We offer up Torgga.
Yeah, right.
Thing that you told me about the advantage, because I would have just kept that one roll. But
Yeah.
7, I think, and I rolled a 1, right? But it was one of the things that I was really married to with the old system in 3.5 was your ability to do a threat. So if you rolled a critical, then you roll again, and if you beat that DC, then it becomes a critical. I did the exact same with failures. So if somebody rolled natural 1, I would give them the chance to roll that again. And if they beat the DC, well, then it was just a failure. It wasn't critical failing.
Right.
Really hoping for somebody to get up there and start talking, because I know Torgga's character pretty well, that it would not go over well. She would just be like, sure, come on, I'll take you all on. Yeah,
I always love to see how which players step forward and say something. I mean, I was thinking that Beardtrice would be the face, that she would be the one that would naturally. But I guess you couldn't understand what they were talking about.
Yeah, as I said in the text chat, that I realised comprehend languages was for written only. And although I do have tongues for exactly this situation, I'm a little loath to start knocking out high-level spells before we get to the dragon, in case we meet it today.
Perfect.
So, now we've got a group of people. I just decided I'd speak troll instead. Yeah.
So the last of the giants fades from sight, leaving you on this bloodied battlefield of victory. What is it your group does now? It's probably just after or just around midday.
First things first, I think Brand collapses to the ground, kind of gasping and heaving, and you see this, like, his armor is just like dented and bent inwards as he got hit by this massive boulder. And he kind of just like coughs and like shifts some of the pauldrons of his armor and moves it to the side, and you see just like his body is bruised beneath this armor.
Come on, human, get yourself walking, Gulbrandr, and do try not to shoot people in the back. It's not very civilized.
I kind of just smile. She says, "Not very civilized." And I kind of reach down and I pull out these health pots, these little vials of kind of this opalescent red liquid. And I kind of pop a couple of them, and I'm going to drink those. You see the bruises kind of start to fade away as they fade into my normal skin again. I'll just roll that and just tell you what I get.
As you're drinking them, Torgga kind of looks over at you and calls out, "Are you sure you're not part elf?"
Yeah. You don't have to tell me what you roll. Just add it to your hit points. I work on the honor system. So yeah. If anyone else, I don't think anyone else took damage in that fight. Well, you took 4 points, Torgga. 1, yeah. So
I ended up taking about 10. 10.
Okay.
10. I took 10.
Right. So you guys could, if you wanted to, could utilize this as a time for a short rest. You could eat a lunch, and if you wanted, you could use one of your hit die to regain any hit points if you wanted. And just let me know what you guys want to do from there.
Well, I suppose that depends on whether our
Hold on a
human
second.
friend-
I think Carol was talking because I saw her mouth moving, but I didn't hear her.
Sorry. Go ahead, Becky. That's fine.
Yeah.
I suppose that depends on whether our human friend here is capable of marching on. We're already losing time following his plan.
Kind of just smile, gritting my teeth as this dwarf is just giving me more grief. And I just stand to my feet after chugging these potions, tossing them on the ground and looking her dead in the eyes. And I say, very well, we move then. And I turn and start walking towards the mountain. You see the bruises are gone now. I kind of shift the pauldron back into place, pulling one open and kind of like punching the dent out of it and putting it back, and making my way towards this peak again.
I sort of call it, not even time for a drink. Yeah, well, oh, fine, all right. Cork it back again and start using my battle axe to, gain some leverage and stuff. Occasionally sipping from my flask, or I keep saying flask, water skin.
Come on, Torgga. You can do it. Let's get up the hill there, Auntie.
Flask, water skin, what's the difference really?
Size.
One has a higher propensity to break if I fall.
So you guys fall.
Yeah, that reminds me. I pick up his flasks. He just dropped them. I picked them up and waste not, want not.
So, Brand, you would recover half of the bolts you shot. The others would have been lost or damaged, and so you would recover half of them. Because I think you said you collected them. Okay, cool. So you guys set back off on your path again. I imagine you guys would continue to skirt around this this plain. Yeah. Yeah, so you guys continue to follow that path, and the rest of the day goes uneventful, and then you guys make camp again. Beardtrice, are you doing the hut like you did the previous evening?
Yeah, if we're going to sleep in this cold conditions, then well, it depends just how cold it is, because I do have a tent with me.
Yeah, it's pretty frigid. You guys find that as you get to the higher elevations, not only do you start feeling like the air thinning, but also you notice that it is much colder.
Yeah, I do it, but I do it reticently because I just hate when the spell ends and the dome fades and you get that sudden cold rush of air as the actual temperature hits. It's something I've grown to despise. So I do use it sparingly, but given the conditions, I think a warm night is needed. So yeah, I start making the harmonic sound from my throat again, toss my shield down on the ground. You better not snore again tonight, Gulbrandr.
That was probably Torgga.
Yeah. It was probably both of them, and unfortunately, they both snore again this evening.
I make it a point to snore louder, by the way.
Yes, right. Make sure to fall asleep on his back.
I fall asleep on my back, and I also plug my nose, so there's nowhere else for the air to go but out through my mouth.
Right. So Beardtrice, even with that, you still have a fairly restful night, as does everyone else. And you wake the next morning. You travel uneventfully as you start moving further up the base of this mountain peak, and then you get to the point where you have to start employing your climbing gear. What I would like to do here, so this is like a day after. So the next day passes without anything, another evening, and then you get to the base of this mountain. What I'd like to do here is something called a skill challenge, where I set how many successes you guys need before you get so many failures. Now, even if you fail, you're still going to be able to move forward on your quest. It'll just be more difficult. The more successful you are, the easier your path will be up this mountain and to getting to the lair of this dragon. So how this is going to work is everyone is going to, I want 4 successes before 2 failures. The DC is going to be 18, and no one can use the same skill as that someone else has already used. And what I'd like you to do is narrate how so you can use almost any skill as long as you can narrate how you would use it effectively as you think about mountaineering and traversing up this this mountain.
Okay. If it's okay with everyone, I'll go first. Also, seeing as this is my favorite terrain, what I do is you see me start drawing another pair of glyphs on my legs, and I cast jump on myself. And what I do is I am going to be making a series of jumping from like kind of rock to rock. Whenever like I see like a high leap, I kind of jump with my python and like grab onto the leap. Maybe at one point I see somewhere really far off, I pull out my crossbow and load this bolt into it that has a really thick, strong head, solid, like a stone almost. And when I fire it, it just slams into the rock. But because of the unique nature of my crossbow, it freezes to the rock. I kind of tug on it, and I'm using that to get up. So I'm going to use acrobatics. And that would be a total of 16 for the first one.
Okay. Yeah. So that's a fail. So
16 fails.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
The DC is 18. So you actually do that, and you actually make the first couple of jumps with ease. And then on your third jump, you slip and start to fall, but you catch yourself. But as you do so, you jam your arm, your right arm gets jammed into like a crevice in the rock, and it bruises your forearm. So that's one failure. You have to kind of work it out. Yep.
Okay, so like as the morning hasn't gone well, and I see everyone's spirits are a little bit down, and it's going to go, well, maybe I can lift everyone's spirits, because back when I was a Huskar, we used to, when we're out on patrol, we used to sing these songs, and well, we're a big mountain. There's nothing around us in this terrain, so maybe I'll try and lift everyone's spirits. So I start singing a song, but of course, because I don't really care about Gulbrandr, I'm going to do one in Dwarvish, and I start with a little whistle, but then I begin singing, and Beardtrice's voice, although it's all dry, deep, and haggard with age, when she starts singing, it's an almost angelic voice and lots of harmonies and self-harmonies and so forth, and so it's really moving, almost operatic performance as we're trembling up the hill, and that's all really good and stuff, but then as certain pitches are reached, some snow starts to shift under the rocks, vibrating and stuff. So what actually happens is I get 22. So although snow does start trickling down from various places on the louder notes at certain pitch ranges, they never quite completely shift and cause an avalanche. So I passed.
Perfect. Yeah. So not only do you raise the spirits of your allies, but actually the tones actually help to settle the snows that you guys are traversing and making the ground a little bit more stable as you guys are driving your pitons in and working your way up this mountainside. Perfect. Who's going to go next?
So during one of the hours in which we're traveling up, reach like a small little peak of some sort, and you can see Torgga kind of like looking around, and she does a low little whistle, and you can hear her banging rhythmically with one of her mason hammers. She starts tapping out this staccato rhythm, and eventually it's going to sound really weird because she can cast beast sense. So I want to bring a bird of flight, some type of sparrow or high altitude bird. Mythology is lost as to what type of bird that may be, but she's sort of tapping out this rhythm you hear, and she's sort of humming this slow tune, and you can hear her, or you can see this the bird sort of land down on one of the nearby rocks, and she sort of mutters to it, and she can use the bird flies off, and she uses its senses to sort of scout ahead. Okay, rather than head down this path, the bird actually shows that we can go along this one trail and along this peak, and if we go to the left of the rock, or so on and so forth. That's kind of what I wanted to do, to use my survival role with the guidance of this beast sensibility that I have, this beast sense spell.
Good luck.
Thank you. 21.
Yeah, success. So you're able to use your primal senses from spending so much time in the wild and studying beasts, and you use that to help your party pick a more suitable route. So that's a second success.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Obsidian.
All right. Well, because I've trained with all the climbing gear, and I know an awful lot about it, I'm going to use my wisdom in climbing and my strength, and very carefully use my climbing gear to get up the slope. Let's see. Okay. Oh, yeah, and that would be athletics. $18.
Yes, that is another success. So, yeah. So when others in your party are struggling, you're able to use your strength and faith to help move them along and bolster their courage. So between Beardtrice's rousing tune and your faith in your god, you're able to hopefully successfully move your party forward. Now I just need one more person to either make a success or a fail. So anyone could go.
So which skills have been used?
I believe it was acrobatics, performance, survival, and athletics.
Okay. Stealth. No, okay. You see nature. We'll go ahead and do I'll do nature. I'll use my my +6 persuasion. Yeah, use that on the rocks to part for us to get us up this side of this cliff. I'm going to use nature to determine kind of like which maybe there's some sort of like herb growing from the side of this cliff that might be potentially useful for the climbing to use as like vines or natural ropes. So I'll roll that. That's an 18.
Perfect. Yeah, so that's your final success. So what you do is you use your knowledge of the mountains, and you use that to look at certain lichens and stuff that are growing on the rocks, and that allows you to pick better places to put your pitons in to have more secure latching points for your rope. And you guys continue to make your way up successfully up and make much better time. And then you come to a place where there's almost like a ledge. And as you do so, you're kind of enveloped by this swirling mixture of snow and ice, the same snow and ice that you saw from down below. You know that you grow close to the dragon's lair, as this is one of the telltale signs. This is not a natural occurrence. You get a sense that it's a magical magic is at work here.
Can we tell how close?
Yeah, you would guess that. You would think that if you continue to make the progress you're making, that you might be able to actually locate this lair within the day. Unfortunately, however, you find that your visibility is very poor, struggling to see just 5 feet ahead of you as this ice and snow swirls around you. And as you try to talk with one another, you find that your voice is ripped away. So unless you guys lean in close, your words are not heard by the others.
That's about the time I slip my goggles on, just to be able to keep the snow and the sleet and the wind out of my eyes. And I kind of look back at the group, make sure that we're still close, that we're all still together. And I guess I just trudge on. Not really much to communicate. Just got to find the lair.
Yeah, perfect. Now, are there any precautions that your party is taking as you move forward deeper into this snow?
I don't think I'd offer again, seeing as they turned me down the first time with the rope. So I'm just hoping that they are as sure-footed as they claim to be.
As we're moving along, I grab my battle axe and detach the bottom part, and you can see me fiddling with it. Blasted IKEA models, and flip out a pick and wrap my on the end and hold it in one hand so that I can have it ready just in case I slip or I fall. I've got my battle axe in one hand, my pick in the other. If anybody catches my eye, I kind of motion for them to be like, stay safe. I've got this here in my hand. Look what I'm doing. And I'm keeping my eye out as much as I can. And obviously it's way too cold and way too windy, blowing everywhere. My beard coming up in my face.
I suggest to the other dwarves that it might be a good time for us to go ahead and rope ourselves together, just because this is pretty bad and we don't want to get lost.
I give an approving nod and pulled out a very, very old frayed rope that's part rotten and certainly very matted and dirty. And I strap it around myself and toss the end to you, Obsidian.
Okay, well, I tie myself onto it and toss the other end towards, kind of in the middle, and toss a part to Torgga.
I would be walking over, considering how windy it is. It would be like whoosh, whoosh. Grab the rope. What the is this?
Torgga, you know her stuff's got to be good. She always comes through.
Does it actually feel like a rope in my mouth?
I'm sorry, I missed that.
Does it actually feel like a tattered rope if I bite onto it? Does it feel like it looks, or does it feel like it doesn't look?
Yeah, it feels like 20 years old. Like it's been stored outside.
I wrap the silk, the spider silk, I undo the spider silk from my pick, and then I do the spider silk around me, and then I hand the spider silk over to Obsidian to be like, no, we're not using a tattered rope. We're going to use this spider silk here.
Yeah, I look at Beardtrice and say, wouldn't you prefer the spider silk?
I give the motion like through the wind.
There's nothing wrong with old things. Rope has done well. It's never failed.
Oh, of course not.
As
It's
she's
not the age. Spider silk is so light and easy to use, and that you can release it or make it sticky either way.
so I'm just gonna say.
I'm assuming we have to just rush on forward.
She says there's nothing wrong with old things. I'm like, except for they become grouches underneath my breath. Like that's what I'm saying. And I'm just.
So, anyways, I'm sure we need to get ourselves roped up.
Yeah, I'm just looking at them with like amusement as they ignored my suggestion earlier, but they're doing it now. And because it's her idea, it's a good idea. And I'm just like shaking my head. I'm just like, I'm just so fed up at this point. Gulbrandra's like, oh my gosh.
Probably
And just like,
arguing in dwarf.
yeah, like consigning himself to it. He ties himself on as well and just shakes his head and keeps up the slope.
Yeah,
And
perfect.
It's the older dwarf, the slightly younger dwarf, then the youngest dwarf, and then the human.
Yeah. So, yeah, you guys quickly into your as you continue moving on, you quickly realize the wisdom of that decision. As there's moments of where you can barely there's whiteouts where you can barely see the ally before you. You only know that they're still there because of the tugging of the rope, whether it be in front or behind you. So the going is slow. So we're going to do a group survival roll. So it'll be average. So I'm going to set the DC to 20 because of the conditions. So everyone, so we just need a majority of people passing the survival.
And I'm trying to remember if being
Are mountains your favorite terrain?
Yeah, they are. So that gives me
Yes,
advantage,
you
right?
have advantage.
Okay, cool.
And I believe Torgga and Obsidian both have advantage on the survival roll because you're in the mountains.
Oh man, okay, 23.
Survival, Obsidian.
I got a 20.
Perfect. So that's two successful. Ooh. Yeah, no, it's so you manage to avoid some pitfalls where snow has formed over, and as you tap it with your axe or hit it with a pole, it drops away, revealing a drop of sometimes several hundred feet. But you avoid that. But unfortunately, you realize that you feel that you're sorely off course from the direction you wanted to go. You feel you've lost at least half a day as you've tried to find the entrance to this lair. Now, I believe one of you has or two of you may have items that might actually aid you.
I've got a sunstone, if that would help.
A sunstone would work even through this thing. But I also believe Beardtrice has a magical item.
I do. I pull out my map, and it is indeed a magical map. It shows our position. Unfortunately, it shows our position where we were this time yesterday. So we hadn't gone wrong on our route at this time yesterday. So so I do pull it out and have a look. I think we travelled east a bit, and we meant to go mostly north. So if we'd done, so we should be somewhere over here, roughly. So I think we might have gone wrong. Guys, I mean,
yeah, so you guys are all huddled around Beardtrice as she kind of lays this map out on the snow. It's whipping as more snow and ice is whipping around you. You guys are yelling just to hear one another. And you get a sense that Beardtrice is waiting for some sort of response.
Kind of look at her as she's pointing this out. What does the map do? Like, does it perfectly illustrate where we want to go, basically?
I solemnly
it's a lovely.
Good.
it's a lovingly drawn parchment map. I mean, this was once a beautiful magic item, only now the magic is very faded, so it's latent. But there's a little marker on the map that shows where we are and our direction of heading. But as I say, it's a day behind where we actually are. So at the moment, it shows us running around fighting giants, I believe. So yeah, so I'm kind of gesturing on the map where I think we are now. So circling my finger, we're somewhere in this area. Meanwhile, you've got the distraction of these little sort of arrow points on the map somewhere further back down the mountain, all sort of running around having a fight.
I would slowly nod at this, wondering how knowing where we were helps us know where we need to be and where we are currently. And I'm just like slowly nodding my head like, yeah, okay, yeah. And then I kind of like look at the map and I look at our surroundings. Do I have any idea where we are based off looking at this map?
I will help if I can.
Right. You can give me a survival roll based on looking where you were 24 hours from now. You could use your best guess.
Okay, yeah, that's a total 19.
Yeah. So by looking at this map and utilizing the sunstone, you're able to kind of figure out where you guys, how far off the, how much you have strayed. So you figure it'll take several hours to kind of backtrack to get back on course. So you would lose those hours.
I relay that.
Yeah. So you guys do that. You backtrack and continue back on what you believe is the correct path to go. Everyone give me another survival check as you kind of press through here. And also I need everyone to make a DC 10 Constitution save.
When we do manage to get back on a pathway, you could see Torgga putting her trusty battle axe in front of her, of course, head down to kind of sweep it out like an elk. Calls out to Brand, "Hey, when we were talking to those giants, they didn't give us a deadline, did they?" As we, sort of remarking, we're back on track now, or whatever.
I kind of look back over my shoulder, and I don't think I have to talk very loud since the wind seems to be blowing it back towards Torgga behind me. Just kind of like speaking a bit normally, but the words carried back. No deadline, just a dead dragon.
Yeah, so you guys are able to get back on path. You feel the cold, bitter wind and snow starting to seep into your bones, but has not had any ill effect on you yet. You're certain that you need to either find this lair or find some sort of shelter within the next couple of hours. So you press forward. And I need everyone just to give me another con save. Same DC, 10.
I wonder if this dragon does house calls. Like standing up on a peak like in Ninja Turtles 2, where he's like, "Shredder!" I just be, "Sacred!"
We're supposed to be sneaking in, Torgga.
Perfect. Yeah. So you guys are able to, drink more of that sun whiskey and rub, as you kind of huddle down and have a very quick meal. You quickly tend to your extremities that are starting to show the signs of frostbite, and allows you to push forward. Just as you're about to give up hope for this day and make yet another camp, who's leading your group? Brand?
Yeah, I feel like I'm at the front. That's
So-
where I got tied up to, anyways.
So Brand, as this snow and ice is whipping around you, there's like moments where your vision extends beyond like the 5 feet or the 0 feet. And it's one of those moments when it spreads open and you can see off in the distance, probably 30 or 40 feet away, this vast opening to a cavern. Unfortunately, what you see is access to it is across this narrow 4-foot ice bridge that spans this large precipice. And just as you see it, the wind whips back around and it conceals it from your sight.
So I kind of gather the group up, having seen the bridge, and I lean in to tell them what I've seen. And it's not going to be an easy crossing. That's for sure. If we fall, that means death.
Yeah, Brand, you can give me an insight check if you'd like.
Oh, what was the footing again?
Excuse me?
Sorry, I missed part of that. Sorry.
Yeah, okay. I'll just repeat myself. That's fine. So there's probably a 30-foot span of ice bridge. It's about 4 foot wide that spans from where you guys have mounted to, and it leads across to what Brand saw was the opening of a large cave. He believes it's the cave of the worm.
Okay, so I look at that and I look at my teammates and I say, if we want to take a moment here, I can cast a spell that will walk us right across that.
Then I'd say you should take all the moments you need.
So, okay, so I sit down and hold my holy symbol and mutter under my breath and pray to Glandegan. Yeah. And let's see. Yes, and look at you all, and it starts to warm up, and you can see it start to glow, and then you feel that, kind of see the red glow come out and settle on everyone. And I'm casting Water Walk. So
Okay.
for 1 hour, the spell grants the ability to move across any liquid surface, which includes ice and snow, as if it were harmless solid ground. Up to 10 willing creatures I see within range gain this ability for the duration.
The only question I have for you, Obsidian, is does that have a verbal component?
It does. That was the prayer I was muttering to
Yeah.
Glandegan.
So as you're trying to complete this ritual to cast this spell, you find that this wind, as it buffets you, seems to almost pull your words away, preventing you from casting this magic, completing the spell that would allow it to work. So you see it starts to glow, and as you're about to, you feel the presence of and the power of your god, but you're just not able to complete the spell.
Okay. Look at everybody. I'm like, well, we've got rope, we've got ice picks.
That's your spell, rope and ice picks?
I'm kind of yelling through the ice, and I wasn't able to complete the ritual. The wind blew it away first.
So the components are somatic, then you have to say them. So if I cast silence, it wouldn't make a difference.
That's
Silence
correct.
is a
Make it impossible.
Dang it. Okay.
Yeah, I had ideas too, but they've all got verbal components on them, so we're doing this the hard way.
I think everything's verbal I've got.
Well, snap. Kind of grit my teeth. Guess we're doing this the old-fashioned way.
What if I were to climb into my mountain sleeping bag and cover up my face so there was no wind on me and cast the spell?
I believe that would probably work, Obsidian.
So I kind of peg my mountain sleeping bag down so we don't go sliding off in the wind. And I climb in it and I wrap it all down over me. And because they don't have to hear the spell. Then once again, I hold my holy symbol and I pray, Clondagan, you are the god of war and we are off to a battle. Come and help us here so that we can walk across this I don't know, across this land. Anyway, and the red mist kind of comes up out. It comes up kind of out the little holes around the edge of the sleeping bag, and then it settles on everyone.
Perfect. Yes. So your magic now works, and the rest of you find that your footing is more sure.
Yeah.
I'm breathing fumes from the open hole. Like.
We still might want to, even though it's no longer slippery to us, let's go ahead and rope ourselves. It's not that wide and there's a lot of wind.
Yeah, I assumed you guys are still roped together.
Yeah.
You hadn't said that you had unbound yourselves. All right.
And I got my ice pick to stick into it as I go to anchor.
Was that 19 your insight, Brand?
Yeah, that was the insight.
Yeah. You would also think, too, it'd probably be wise if you guys maybe crawled across the opening to lower your so that these big gusts of wind would not blow you off.
Okay. Yeah, I'll relay that, too. So would I be able to fire a crossbow bolt through this wind?
No.
Dang it. Okay, I wanted to like shoot one to the other side and create like a railing almost.
Yeah.
That we can hold with rope.
I'll tell you this. So what you've seen is there's breaks in these gusts, like when the one that Gate allowed you to see. So what I would say is I'd give you the opportunity to maybe wait for one of those openings to come again, and you would fire your crossbow.
Okay.
I would just make you do it at disadvantage because you would have to have that timing down perfect.
All right, that's fine. So with that in mind, you just see I kind of hold up his hand just like 1 second also. And I pull out my crossbow, and I just sit there. And for you guys and for me, it probably feels like an eternity. Just waiting for this one ideal gust. I'm just tuning in all my senses to everything I know about the mountain, about winter, about the snow, about this heavy, heavy gusts of wind. And I'm just waiting, breathing in and out, feeling the wind. And then when that opportune moment comes, I breathe in and fire. And so at disadvantage, you said?
Yeah. So just give me whatever that roll is.
Well, that's a nat 20 and a 15. So 15 plus my shot, which would be like 20.
Yeah, it'll be enough. You time it perfectly, and you fire, and you hit your mark across the way with the grappling bolt. So that with Obsidian spell allow you guys to easily get across this this once treacherous bridge, and you find yourselves standing at the mouth of this cave. It almost gives you some shelter from the buffeting wind and ice, and it's almost like from one world to another. It's like when you step, like, have you guys gone to a concert, and then after the concert you step outside and quiet sounds loud? That's what it feels like to you. You're standing in this, and you can hear the howling winds behind you, but then it's just almost like serene silence as you stand at the mouth of this cave. And you see that it kind of slopes gently down, as it's an icy slope down, and then it kind of bears around a corner.
So I'll expend a spell slot to know if Mr. Dragon is home. Because if I expend a spell slot, I can know if one of my favorite enemies is within a mile of where I am.
You sense the dragon. You sense that it's near.
I tell them. I know it's near. And what this looks like for everyone is that I kind of kneel down on the ground, and I put my palm flat down on the ground, and I draw a large glyph. And it starts to glow and then just disappears as quick as I drew it. And you see these, like, it almost vibrates across the surface of everything, kind of spreading in a field. And for my eyes, it's almost like sonar. Like, I see the dragon inside of its cave and know that it's down there.
Kneeling down, Gulbrandr, taking a breath. Come on.
trying to look back at this
Nice.
dwarf that's giving me nothing but grief. Sorry, go ahead.
I know what your new favorite enemy is going to be at your next level. It's going to be dwarf. All right. So yeah, so you use that magic, and you can feel the presence of the worm. And what would you guys do? Yeah, so using Obsidian's spell, you're able to move quite easily down this icy tunnel, which, if not for her spell, would have probably been much more treacherous for you all. And as you get down to the end, it winds down for maybe 100 or so, 130 feet, and then it opens up into this vast cavern, and it's almost horseshoe shaped, with you being at the upper round of the horseshoe. And in the middle of this vast caravan, it's probably a cavern, not caravan. It's probably about 200 feet wide, probably about 100 or so feet high. And you see that it opens to the sky, a section of it. And you see in the middle, what would be the center of this horseshoe, is this vast, maybe 30-foot high peninsula. And up above, in the distance, you can see another cave opening, and you see other cave openings dotted along the base of the cavern. And it's again that same quiet, eerie silence. You know, like
So
your breath
sort of
seems loud as you. Excuse me.
Is it sort of like honeycombed? Like you said, there's the U shape, and then there's sort of trails leading off into other caverns?
Yeah, you see other cave openings, tunnels.
From this area?
Yeah, from the main floor. And that up above, there's that jut out. It juts out maybe about 60 feet, and it's about 30 feet up, and it creates like a little plateau. And you can see from your vantage point that there's another cave opening up there.
Oi, Brand, calling behind me, hefting my bosoms around. You think that spell's still working? We got a lot of choice here.
The spell to know where the dragon is? Which spell do you mean?
Yeah, I would have referred to that glyph that you put down on the front door, or when you first got in.
I don't know. You tell me. Is it still working, Lino?
Yeah, no, the magic would fade once you've pinged that the dragon is within the mile of you.
So I share that, and I say it's kind of a one-time thing, but I can do it again to try and pinpoint it exactly.
Well, I'm not quite sure if it would be better if we were just like eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Which hole do you think would be able to hold a dragon?
Are they all pretty big?
You don't think many of the ones on the lower, there's probably maybe 2 of the 6 that would fit a dragon. The others are much too small. And the one up above on the jutting peninsula is, you would guess, not having seen the dragon, that it was big enough.
Okay, so I'd convey all that. 2 on the bottom, 1 on top. It could be any of those 3. What would I do? Are there any other small critters that I can see, like maybe a anything?
No, it's totally devoid. As you guys start to examine more of the cavern floor, you actually see that things have been encased in ice. You see half-eaten carcasses. You see random items that probably were cast aside from whatever victim they were.
Okay. Gulbrandr doesn't know how to pinpoint where it is exactly. So he's going to kind of defer to everyone else, kind of like looking at the 3 of them.
Dragons are supposed to be arrogant. They would like to look down on its domain. I say we go up.
I'd say up too, because dragons like to fly. They're up creatures, air creatures. Although it's a nice creature, I don't know. I suppose, could I possibly roll something to get an idea?
Sure. What are you thinking?
Probably insight. Does that seem reasonable?
Yep.
All right. Be 14.
Yeah, even with a 14, you would know that definitely white dragons are very vain. It would make sense that this dragon would probably perch upon the peninsula so that it could kind of look over its lair.
Okay, well, I'm definitely going to agree with her then.
Great. So what do you guys do?
By consensus, I guess we're going up.
Perfect. So I just need you guys to explain how you're going to do that and just execute.
To give us something to use to climb, almost like a kind of army on the wall. Like I fire my grappling arrow up, so you can hold it and kind of put your feet against the wall and pull yourself all the way up to the top. I'm guessing that would be athletics checks for everyone to use.
To the end of that bolt, we can tie on the spider circuit.
Yeah, your bolt is actually magical, so you could actually aim and shoot up, and it would actually grapple onto what you were aiming for, and it would be secure. But yeah, it would be an athletics to climb, but you would have advantage because you would be using the rope to do so.
Okay. Yeah, you just see this bolt, with this thick, solid head, go flying forward and just slam with a thunk into the wall and then freeze there.
Perfect. Yeah, and as it hits, there's just like this through the cavern. It echoes and then fades.
Next time, perhaps you could warn us before you do something stupid so that we can prepare something. I could have silenced the bolt.
I kind of just look at Beardtrice, and I open my mouth to give her a retort, and then I close it again and just shake my head, just like not worth it. And with my athletics check, I got a 21.
Okay, so Brand, you're first up the rope, and then Obsidian, you're next up. Who would go after Obsidian?
I've got up next. I got 15.
Okay, so you start to climb, and you're about halfway up, and I want everybody to give me perception rolls, please. Oh, and everyone has advantage because of the acoustics within the cavern.
I still haven't gone up the rope yet. It's the three of them and then me there, still at the bottom.
So Torgga, you're standing there kind of like footing the rope for Beardtrice, and it's the two of you that hear it first. It's that low rumbling.
I'm assuming that there's no way that I'd be able to pinpoint where it's coming from.
Yeah, it sounds like it's coming from several of the tunnels. And as you kind of look around, you see these large white wolves starting to emerge from the tunnel, and with them you see an even larger wolf. It's almost like smiling at you, and it says in the common tongue, "Look, sisters, our meal has come." And the other ones just kind of, and they just bolt forward. Everyone, you two guys roll initiative. And the other you other two, you would hear that now. So everyone hears that. What are you guys doing up top? Or actually, why don't you guys just tell me all what you're doing?
Covering fire.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, I can do that with my my little hand axes too. I can toss them down there. Oh, no, before I do any of that, I'll want to cast a spell.
Okay, perfect. So you're getting a spell ready.
Yeah. Once I hear the wolves.
Are the wolves up top or down below?
I'm sorry.
They are down below. So you're like halfway up this rope, Beardtrice, and so it's just Torgga down below.
Okay, so panicking a little because I'm on this rope. I'm kind of reaching around to my pouch of components to try and get some incest out of there. When I need this spell, and of course I'm on the rope, and of course I just end up sliding off the rope and ending up down the bottom. Ah, damn it! And then I get the incense out, and I throw it towards one of the wolves. And as it floats towards the wolves, it's the big one I'm aiming for. The incense dust sort of turns into sparkling lights. I give them a little whistle, and they start creating a pattern in front of the wolf's eyes, and I cast hypnotic pattern.
Oh,
It has
perfect.
to make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
DC 14.
DC 14. It does not.
Okay, so it is now charmed, which means it's incapacitated and has a speed of 0. It is ended if it takes any damage, though, or if someone else uses an action to shake the creature out of its stupor.
All
So
right.
basically, it's mesmerized by the pattern.
Oh, so it's just kind of just standing there, not taking any action.
Yeah, it's just like a really, really lovely pattern.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it stops right in its tracks. So let me see. Has everyone got their initiative done? So I got the highest initiative as Brand with a 21. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Right. So Brand, you're first to act.
All right. Seeing them charging at Torgga and at Beardtrice, I kind of yell down, "Climb, beefy dwarf and angry dwarf," and I kind of like aim my crossbow, and I'm gonna, as a bonus action, use Hunter's Mark, and I'll take two shots. So I'll shoot at one, and then I will hopefully kill it, and then shoot at the other one.
Yeah.
And I will use.
Just so you know, so you see the one large one, and there's 5 of the smaller.
Okay, I'll cast Hunter's Mark on the large one. And again, you just see focus.
It is charmed.
Oh, the big one's charmed?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. Because I shoot him, he's
it'll
gonna come out of it, isn't he?
Charm, yeah.
So I kind of I aim at him, and then I see this like lackadaisical look in his eye, and I'm like, then I realize he's not a threat, and I rotate to one of the other ones, and just focus, just hawk-like focus, looking down the barrel. Well, not the barrel, just the shaft, the long shaft of this heavy crossbow, and I line up, and I'm gonna shoot once. And I don't have bless on me this time, so no D4. Oh wow, okay. 21 to hit with so that's minus the 5 for the sharpshooter. And it hasn't taken damage yet, so I don't get the D8.
Yeah, you do hit.
Okay. So that'll be on this one. It takes 14, 17, 27.
Perfect. Yeah, it goes and it kind of staggers a bit as it's running towards Torgga and Beardtrice, but it kind of regains its balance and continues to just keep charging to it. So how much was it total up?
27.
27. Whoa.
And then I kind of just like give it a look like, huh, okay. And I level the crossbow at it again, and I'm gonna take this one out. This one that's getting closest to these to my allies. And that one this time, okay, that's not as good. That will be 13.
Yes, 13. So yeah, you hit it again, and it does this time. It hits it, and it hits it in its flank, but it's got this momentum. It doesn't lose its stride. It just kind of goes again and just keeps running.
Oh wait. Well, I didn't do damage though. I didn't roll my damage. That was the hit.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
Okay. No, it's all good.
Yeah, let me just to kind of speed things up, to hit these wolves, the armor class is 13.
Okay, perfect. So that'll be 4 plus 4 plus 4, 12, 17, 30 points this time.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so it's a much different reaction from this. Give me a D10.
Okay. 5.
A 5, yeah. So it stumbles and falls prone, and you see it slowly starting to rise. It can't take an action until its next turn.
Oh man, it's still alive? Holy cow.
Yeah, these are not normal wolves. These are huge.
I feel like literally
Well, you've probably hunted similar wolves like dire wolves.
Yeah.
So you've heard telltale. Actually, you've probably shot these. You would recognize these as winter wolves.
Yeah, but I mean, even so, Gulbrandra's eyes are like wide. Like he's surprised. Yeah. Like this thing is still standing after these two devastating bolts.
But you just see it. Its coat is just flecked heavy with blood.
Yeah.
And let me see. Torgga, you're up. Yep. Yeah, I'm keeping track of the time.
So we're down there, and Beardtrice is beside me?
Yep. So you have two wolves coming at you from either side, and there was on your right side, there was the larger one. Well, actually, no, it'd be 3 and 3. The larger one, though, Beardtrice has kind of charmed. It's just kind of stopped in its tracks. But the other two are still moving.
So
and then,
those wolves, do they look as if they have any sort of special climbing sort of anything on them? Like, do they have like really sharp claws? Nothing like that. They're just like regular wolves.
Right. You don't think that they're going to be able to climb the rope.
Do you think there's a possibility that I would be able to, because the two of them are still up on that, they're
Correct.
Still up there, and I'm assuming they're far enough away. Would you say I would have enough time to scoop her up, to grab Beardtrice and then just haul ass up the rope?
You could, but it would be at it would be at disadvantage because you'd be trying to carry her as your. Is she going to grab onto you like this, like over your shoulders?
Well, that and I could grab her too, because I have I took the bear and the primal path or whatever it's called for the second ability too. So I've doubled.
Oh yeah, you can carry her easily enough. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
I'm really strong, and like my basic carrying capacity is 540 pounds.
Right.
And
so
I can push it like
so you have advantage for climbing with a rope. And then I'm going to give you disadvantage for trying to climb while holding her, doing it one-handed, even though you're stronger. So it cancel out. So it's just a straight-up athletics roll.
Can I give myself inspiration? Can I use my inspiration now?
If you fail the roll.
Oh, if I fail, okay, that's how it works. Sorry.
Yeah.
16 and 14. What am I taking?
Yeah, so you start scrambling up this rope as the wolves start closing in at the base. And you see one of them nip the larger one, kind of shaking it out of its stupor. And Obsidian, you're up. Yeah. But can you be quiet? Because I'm doing a chat.
Haven't gotten ready for my spell. Once again, I concentrate on that holy symbol with my hand over it, and you see the red light start to leak through my fingers, and I call out to my god, Glendegan, and the the red mist comes out and settles on everyone, and I cast bless on them. So up to 1 minute.
You get them all.
You know. Yeah.
Yeah. So just to answer your
all
question,
of them, but I skip me again. I can only do 3, so I skip me.
oh, okay. So you've blessed everyone else but yourself. That's very
Right.
noble of you, Obsidian.
I'm a cleric.
Just to answer your question, so they cancel each other out, so it's a straight up roll. So you were just having a regular athletics roll. All right, perfect. So you're just getting up. So what you see is Torgga just like with inhuman strength, she just pulls, and she's got Beardtrice rather unceremoniously tucked up underneath one of her arms, and she just pulls it. So you're just getting up onto the lip of this, and I need everyone to make a dex save.
Not the beard.
As you hear this rumbling roar, as up here, clinging onto the ceiling of the cave, you see this enormous, gargantuan white dragon.